Hey everybody, it's Odd Dustin, and exciting things happening today. Bloober team has released 14 minutes of gameplay of The Medium, and if you aren't familiar with what The Medium is, it's their latest game. It's going to be a third-person survival horror game, so it's different than their other games like Observer or Layers of Fear, the Layers of Fear game, but there's similar things to it. You can see it in the gameplay that I'm excited about and that I enjoyed from those other games, and I believe that the worlds that they build are interesting, and the storytelling and the way they do it through items that you discover are also a really great way to tell a horror story and immerse you into that atmosphere. So what I thought I'd do is take a look at this 14 minutes worth of gameplay and give you kind of my thoughts on some of the things that I noticed, and then we can have some discussions in the comments. So I'm really excited about this game, exclusive from Xbox, which is going to be the first exclusive on their new console, so I'm excited for it. All right, the first thing I noticed is when you find an item, it's very similar to the Layers of Fear games and their other products, where you pick it up, you can take a look at it, you circle around until you find something that clicks with you, and then it gives you a little bit more information about what she's looking for or what the story is. It looks like you can also listen back to the sound clip that played when that happened. And I'm glad, being that it's third person, that you can just walk up and press A. I know that I had some struggles with the Layers of Fear games, trying to get my my controller, if I was playing it on controller, to select things. You could tell that it was designed more for keyboard and mouse. Being third person, just having a button that you can press to get to the item and not have to line it up perfectly like you have when you're in first person, is something that I enjoy quite a bit when it comes to something like this. It's going to have a ton of items and a ton of story linked to those items. I hate missing things. So to have a little white dot that you can just search for in a room like this, then press A to be able to read it or to listen to it, I'm looking forward to that. Now, this next piece that I want to take a look at is when in the 14 minutes footage here, they show the kind of gimmick of this game, which is the dual environments, where you've got kind of an alternate dimension or universe or whatever you want to call it that she's experiencing in real time, both sides. And I wondered about this, that if one side didn't know about the other side, right? So I've watched a lot of the other trailers and footage from this game, and I wondered, like, that person on the other side is interacting with the world and moving in the same synchronized way, but do they know that each other exist? Are they the same person? Is it like her inner soul or something like that? And I think in this, you can tell because of the movements that they do know that the other exists, and that it is. And also later on in the trailer, which I'll show in a second, they reference it a little bit more as well. So it's awesome to see that they showed that not only does what you might call the real character and the like white-haired subatomic level character or whatever, I'm not really sure yet what that is, but her other self does interact in that other world, and the one in the real world is interacting at the same time, knowing that it's happening, being a part of it as well. It's not just, oh, it's coincidental, they're linked, but they're not knowing each other. Yeah, they know each other. It's the same person. It's just two different, like, parts of herself. And on that note, here we have a section where she's going up in the elevator. The elevator gets stuck, and she needs to move kind of her alternate universe self around, separate from her real self, because it's blocked and the door won't open in the real world, but the door is open and working in the alternate dimension. And she mentions in the trailer that she's having an out-of-body experience. Also, that there's a very limited amount of time that she can separate before she gets split up. Here, I'll play a little bit of that audio.
Gotta move fast. An out-of-body experience. It's like taking a plunge into nothingness. Stay under for too long and it just pulls you in.
So right here, the game has already answered some questions that I had from watching some of the footage, and also makes me more excited to play it. I like to have some limitations to help you kind of feel like, oh, okay, I got to figure out a way around this puzzle. I got to figure out, okay, I got to get in here, find the item, come back. You probably, unless you knew where this power source was, you could probably run around in here and fade back to your normal self. Without knowing how to get back quickly to fix the elevator. And I also like there you saw that she was able to just zap right back. It wasn't like you had to run back with your energy fading away and then you could screw up that bit. You could just hit B to come back out of your out-of-body experience, merge back into yourself basically after you fixed the piece or before you fixed it. Pop back in, do another out-of-body experience, and then fix the elevator. So pretty cool stuff. Also, you can see here that there's some interaction with the mirror and yourself. They don't go into that too much, but you do see it in a couple of different shots where the mirror is there and you see each other. And I'm wondering how the mirror is going to maybe interface in the beginning of the game or lead through the game, where you can see each other through the mirror. You can see your alternate self there. That's also pretty interesting. One thing I noticed when I watched this through the first time, and I didn't see it, and I just am now noticing it as I'm going back through it here, is that when she does go to the mirror, it creates a whole 100% into the other dimension walkthrough. She's not having an out-of-body experience. She is 100% her other dimension self and is now walking through here. And she's also able to gather up powers and use them in different ways. So you are not just going to be powering up a bunch of light switches, getting elevators to work, or powering up anything that's electrically broken. You're also going to use it to guard yourself there, burn away the I don't even know what you want to call those, death moths or whatever bugs were in there. It's kind of gross. And it looks like your alternate self is going to have some powers, and I'm wondering too if your regular self in the real world is also going to have some psychic powers or some kinetic powers and energy that you can use as well to fight off the demons or whatever it is that's hunting you down. You can also see in this instance that she's being hunted by kind of an invisible enemy that showed up after she fixed that puzzle, and then she runs back to a mirror, gets into the real world, and is no longer in the split dimensions, but is still being hunted by the invisible thing. You can see it there for just a second. And that's going to be really creepy and spooky, is to have an enemy hunting you that you can just barely make out. The technology behind that, I think, is going to be pretty significant. Like, they talk about the dual worlds and the split, doing something in both sides, but man, this invisible enemy looks really great because you cannot see it. I mean, my eyes don't work that great as it is, but it is just barely there. The shadow's there, but its existence is just barely there, and that's gonna be really creepy. Last thing I wanted to bring up in this footage is you might not notice it, especially in this scene, because of how wobbly the camera is behind her. But if you look at the water and the light reflections that you can see over to the side there and off of the post as she's walking through there, the water and the light bouncing off of it just look amazing. I mean, there's definite, especially when it comes to horror, you really want darkness to play well, right? You don't want it to be too light. You also don't want it to be, well, some people want it to be super dark. For me, I want to be able to see just a little bit. But I think that the way that the light in this particular section here, when you've got this invisible enemy that you can just kind of make out playing off the light, her light is also kind of flickering on and off, and you're getting just bounces of it off of the wall and off of the wooden sections there that she's hiding behind. Also, that flickering light over there to the side where the enemy is at, just giving you a little bit of a hint as it shines through his body. It's just great. I think that they've done an amazing job here just in this 14 minutes of footage. If you hadn't seen anything and you just saw this, I can't imagine this not being something that gets you hyped for a new horror experience. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to, an Xbox exclusive that really knocks the socks off of people. I'm really hoping great things for this game. Really, really great things for Bloober as well. That team has made some really interesting stuff in the past. Thanks everybody for watching my analysis of the 14 minutes of gameplay that we've seen in the medium. If you're hyped for this game like I am, let me know in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to a great new Game Pass game that I can play as soon as it comes out. I'm going to be playing it on PC. I don't know if you guys are going to be playing it on Xbox One, on Xbox Series. Let me know down in the comments as well. And anything else about this footage that you thought was noteworthy and that you want to talk about. I'd love to have some nerd out sessions about horror games and this game in particular, because I think this looks really great. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. We can talk about horror all day long. Let's do it. All right, everybody, have a good one. Take it easy.